Beyond the veils of existence, where time collapses into a singular point of nothingness, lies the celestial void. It is a realm without stars, a canvas of absolute darkness where the laws of physics are replaced by the weight of myth. In this silent theater of the infinite, two titans of human belief have been summoned to resolve a conflict that spans eons. One represents the ultimate rebellion against the divine, the morning star who preferred to reign in darkness than serve in light. The other is the silent sentinel of the afterlife, the jackal-headed judge who weighs the very essence of the soul against the feather of truth. This is not merely a duel of strength, but a collision of two distinct philosophies regarding the destiny of the human spirit. Lucifer stands first in the void. He does not appear as the horned beast of medieval nightmares, but as the perfect archangel he once was, though draped in a beauty that hurts the eyes. His skin glows with the fading radiance of 1,000 dying suns, and 12 wings of iridescent white and obsidian black sprout from his back, vibrating with the power of the first dawn. In his hand, he grips a spear forged from the echoes of the Big Bang, a weapon that bleeds pure light. To him, the universe is a playground of will and ego, a place where the strong define their own morality. Opposite him, the darkness begins to solidify into the shape of ancient Egypt. The smell of myrrh, incense, and dry desert sand fills the air as Anubis manifests. His body is composed of polished obsidian, muscled and lithe, standing with a regal poise that has watched dynasties rise and crumble into dust. His jackal head is a mask of eternal calm, his golden eyes glowing with a cold, piercing intelligence that sees not the flesh, but the sins and virtues beneath. He carries the scepter, the symbol of power and dominion, and at his hip hangs the scales that have decided the fate of millions. To Anubis, existence is not a rebellion, but a process of order, justice, and the inescapable transition from life to the eternal.
You are a relic of a buried world, Anubis. You represent a time when men trembled before shadows and sought comfort in the preservation of their own decaying corpses. I am the future. I am the spark of intellect that told man to eat the fruit and become like gods. Why do you stand in my way in this empty place? Your scales have no meaning here, for I have no master to judge me.
Pride has always been your shroud, light bringer. You speak of freedom, yet you are the most shackled of all, chained to your own resentment against the throne you could not claim. I am not a relic. I am the silence that follows the scream. I am the balance that ensures the universe does not collapse into the chaos you so desire. You claim to have no master, but you are a slave to your own shadow. I have come to weigh that shadow.
The battle begins not with a strike, but with a surge of atmospheric pressure. Lucifer moves with the speed of thought, a streak of white-hot light that tears through the void. He thrusts his spear, and a beam of celestial energy erupts, capable of vaporizing entire galaxies. The light hits a wall of shifting sand that Anubis has summoned from the spectral deserts of the Duat. The collision creates a shockwave that ripples across the dimensions, shaking the foundations of distant heavens. Anubis does not flinch. He strikes the ground with his scepter, and the celestial void is suddenly populated by the spirits of the unjudged. Thousands of spectral hands reach up from the darkness, grasping at Lucifer's ankles, pulling at his radiant wings. These are the weights of the forgotten, the souls who died without peace, and Anubis commands them with the authority of the first embalmer.
Pathetic ghosts. You think the dead can hold the spirit of the morning star? I fell from the highest heights and survived the fires of the abyss. Your shadows are nothing but fuel for my flame.
Lucifer lets out a roar that sounds like a collapsing star. He erupts in a pillar of infernal fire, a crimson and gold conflagration that incinerates the spectral hands. He flies high into the void, his 12 wings beating in unison, creating hurricanes of solar wind. He raises his hand, and the void begins to crack. He calls upon the power of Pandemonium, the city of demons, summoning the raw essence of sin to manifest as physical blades. Thousands of jagged shards of dark iron rain down upon Anubis, each one imbued with the weight of every lie told since the dawn of time. Anubis raises his hand, and the great scales appear behind him, towering hundreds of feet into the air. One side holds the feather of Ma'at, glowing with a soft, blue light. As the blades of sin descend, Anubis does not dodge. He whispers words of power, ancient Egyptian execrations that bind the chaos. The blades do not strike him, they are drawn into the empty pan of the scales. The weight of Lucifer's attack begins to tip the balance.
You fight with the weapons of the heart, Lucifer. Every blade you throw is a piece of your own fractured soul. Every spark of fire is the heat of your own unyielding anger. You think you are attacking me, but you are merely providing the evidence for your own judgment. Look at the scales. They do not lie.
The scales are a lie. Balance is for the weak who cannot impose their own will upon reality. I am the adversary, the one who questions the balance. I will shatter your scales and turn your feather into ash.
Lucifer descends like a falling meteor, his spear pointed directly at the heart of the scales. The speed of his descent ignites the very vacuum of the void. Anubis meets him head-on, swinging his scepter with a strength that comes from the collective weight of every soul that has ever passed into the West. The spear and scepter clash, creating a flash of light so bright it would blind a mortal god. They lock in a struggle of pure metaphysical force. Lucifer's light is blinding, aggressive, and hungry, seeking to consume everything in its path. Anubis's darkness is different. It is not the absence of light, but the density of truth. It is the cool, quiet dark of the tomb where truth is finally revealed. The void around them begins to bleed colors, purples, deep golds, and blood reds, as the two mythologies fight for dominance.
You claim to bring enlightenment, but you only bring isolation. You teach men to love themselves above all, which is the heaviest weight a heart can carry. A heart full of self is a heart that cannot float. It is a heart that Amit, the devourer, longs to feast upon.
And you teach them to be sheep, to follow the path laid out by priests and kings, hoping that at the end of their miserable lives, a jackal will find them worthy. I give them the power to be their own judges. I give them the pride to stand tall even in the face of annihilation.
Lucifer pushes back, his strength fueled by the collective ego of humanity. He kicks Anubis away and spreads his wings wide. He begins to chant in a language older than the stars, the tongue of the first choir. The void begins to warp. Lucifer is not just fighting Anubis now, he is trying to rewrite the rules of the celestial void. He creates a throne of black glass and sits upon it, casting a shadow that stretches across the infinite.
Welcome to my kingdom, guardian. In this place, my word is the only law. I am the judge, the jury, and the executioner. Your scales have no power in the kingdom of the self.
Anubis stands in the shadow of Lucifer's new throne. He looks small, a solitary figure against the overwhelming brilliance and darkness of the fallen prince. But Anubis does not move. He reaches into his chest and pulls out a small, glowing jar, a canopic jar containing the essence of the first truth. He breaks it, and the fluid inside flows onto the floor of the void, turning it into the Hall of Two Truths.
You can build as many thrones as you wish, Lucifer. You can crown yourself king of the emptiness. But even kings must die. Even stars must go out. And when they do, they come to me. You cannot rewrite the end. You are a beginning that refuses to finish. I am the finish that justifies the beginning.
Anubis calls forth the beast Amit, a monstrous fusion of lion, hippopotamus, and crocodile. The creature emerges from the shadows of Lucifer's own throne, growling with a hunger that transcends physical need. It hungers for the essence of the divine. Lucifer strikes at the beast with his spear, but the weapon passes through it like smoke. Amit is not a physical being, it is the consequence of a heavy heart. Lucifer feels a sudden pang in his chest. For the first time in eons, he feels the weight of his own existence. He remembers the morning of his creation, the beauty of the light he once loved, and the cold bitterness of his fall. These memories, these attachments, are the weights that Anubis uses. The scales behind Anubis suddenly slam down on the side of the heart. The weight is immense.
No. I am eternal. I am the spirit of rebellion. I cannot be weighed.
Everything that has a name can be weighed. Everything that has a story has an end. You have fought for so long to be free, Lucifer, that you have forgotten what it is to be at peace. Your heart is heavy with the pride of 1,000,000,000 years. It is time to face the truth.
Anubis raises his scepter high, and the light of the feather of Ma'at expands, washing over the entire void. It is a light that does not burn, but reveals. It strips away Lucifer's wings, his spear, and his throne, leaving him standing as a singular, naked soul. The brilliance of the morning star is dimmed by the simple, absolute truth of the scale. Lucifer falls to his knees. The weight of his own myth is too much to bear. Anubis walks toward him, his footsteps silent on the spectral sand. He does not strike a killing blow. He does not need to. In the realm of comparative theology, the power of Anubis lies in the inevitability of the transition. Lucifer is the eternal process of conflict, but Anubis is the finality of the result. The battle concludes not with a roar, but with a sigh. Lucifer remains, for the adversary can never truly be destroyed as long as there is a spark of ego in the universe. But in this confrontation, Anubis has proven the superior power. Why? Because Lucifer's power is dependent on an audience, a throne, and a rebellion. Anubis's power is fundamental. It exists in the silence of the end, which outlasts any rebellion. The logic of the mythologies dictates that while Lucifer can win any battle of will, he can never win the battle against time and the inevitable judgment of one's own nature. Anubis is the master of that final moment. The celestial void fades, returning to its state of quiet potential. The Jackal remains the guardian of the threshold, and the morning star returns to the shadows to plot another dawn. But the scales have spoken, and the weight of truth remains the ultimate law of the cosmos. If you enjoyed this epic clash between the Prince of Darkness and the Judge of the Dead, make sure to leave your mark on this video. Do you think the morning star could have tipped the scales in his favor, or is the judgment of Anubis truly inescapable? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the greatest battles of mythology and theology. Your support helps us keep the fires of these legends burning. Until next time, remember, every heart must eventually face the scale. Witness a confrontation where Hellfire meets the ancient sands of the Duat. Lucifer fights for the ultimate freedom of the ego, while Anubis stands as the immovable wall of divine justice and cosmic order. This is not just a fight for survival, but a theological struggle to determine which belief system holds the ultimate truth over the human soul. Who wins when the morning star meets the Jackal of the afterlife? Dive into this epic simulation filled with descriptive detail, metaphysical arguments, and a conclusion based on the deep logic of world mythologies. Stay tuned until the end to see who is truly the master of the final threshold.